Okay, so this one is pretty interesting to me because Pearson is a pretty big company that does a lot of virtual proctor testing. I think they had a big blow up over COVID because a lot of people were trying to proctor finals tests and stuff through Pearson View. And so, yeah. So education giant Pearson suffered a cyber attack allowing threat actors to steal corporate data and customer info, Bleeping Computers learned. Pearson is a UK-based education company and one of the world's largest providers of academic publishing, digital learning tools, and standardized assessments. The company works with schools, universities, and individuals in over 70 countries through its print and online services. So this is the same service that provides testing for like CompTIA tests and probably a few other certification testing, but yeah. In a statement to Bleeping Computer, Pearson confirmed they suffered a cyber attack and that data was stolen, but stated it was mostly legacy data. We recently discovered that an unauthorized actor gained access to a portion of our systems, a Pearson representative confirmed. Once we identified the activity, we took steps to stop it and investigate what happened and what data was affected with forensics. Experts also supported law enforcement's investigation. We've taken steps to deploy additional safeguards into our systems, including enhancing security monitoring and authentication. So keep in mind, there are some of the most sought-after certification organizations that probably use Pearson for their assessments and testing to certify people. And yet, here they are, and yeah. We are continuing to investigate, but at this time we believe the actor downloaded largely legacy data. We'll be sharing additional information directly with customers and partners as appropriate. Pearson also confirmed the stolen data did not include employee information. Wow, that's wonderful. How about user information of those that have taken some of your assessments? But I guess that'll come out later on. But anyway, an exposed GitLab token. This statement comes after sources told Bleeping Computer that threat actors compromised Pearson's developer environment in January 2025 through an exposed GitLab personal access token found in a public .git config file. So this is this particular one is kind of commonly overlooked. And there are literally bots out there that will scan for these things and tell you, hey, you should check this, make it so that this is an accessible this way and what have you, and you'll be Gucci. These people obviously didn't do that. It's really a very simple thing, and it can be understandable why you would forget about it in a lot of cases. At the same time, with the data that you are holding on to in a company like this, you would think that something like this you would want to be vigilant about. But anyway, a git config file is a file local configuration used by Git projects, store settings, blah, 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 can give attackers unauthorized access to internal repositories. In the attack on Pearson, the exposed token allowed the threat actors to access the company's source code, which contained further hard-coded credentials and authentication tokens for cloud platforms. Over the following months, the threat actor reportedly used these credentials to steal terabytes of data from the company's internal network and cloud infrastructure, including AWS, Google Cloud, and various cloud-based data services such as Snowflake and Salesforce CRM. It's all legacy data, I swear. But they accessed all these places as well and downloaded terabytes of data, but it's legacy data on these somewhat newer platforms that they're using. The stolen data allegedly contains customer information, financials, support tickets, and source code with millions of people impacted. However, when Bleeping Computer asked Pearson about whether they paid a ransom, what they meant by legacy data, how many customers were impacted, and if customers would be notified, the company responded that they would not be commenting on these questions. Meaning the legacy data thing is just a PR thing to say, we f***ed up, okay? Pearson previously disclosed in January that they were investigating a breach in one of their subsidiaries, PDRI, which is believed to be related to this attack, scanning for Git config files and expose credentials has become a common method for threat actors to breach cloud services. Last year, Internet Archive was breached after threat actors discovered an exposed Git config file containing an authentication token for the company's GitLab repositories. For this reason, it is critical to secure Git config files by preventing public access and to avoid embedding credentials in remote URLs. So this is basically just a thing of, hey, I need to set up my... Okay, let's go look at Apache dot git config block. Okay, there's a site that does this. How to prevent Apache from serving the Git directory. How to block .git in Apache Nginx and Cloudflare. This is from Geekflare. So here's your Nginx configuration. It denies everything. Here's your Apache configuration. Redirect match 404 at .git. Deny from all. Let's see. And then a few others, blah, blah, blah. If you have a Cloudflare GUI, then that's an option as well. Let's see. How to block access in Apache and Nginx. Block access to .git folders. I think, was this? Maybe. I don't know. So, I mean, it's really easy to find, honestly. Server fault. Order deny all, deny from all. It's right there. It's easy to access, HT access, blah, blah, blah. Okay, like when you're looking at a Git repo, let's go to web. Do I want that one? No. Do I want... We'll pick one that I am. Where? Oh, it's in this one. Okay, so I'm going to pick on one that is definitely clean. And so if I go zh.git, here's our cool little file here. So here's the .git config, okay? You see the repository format, the file mode, and things like that. You've got the origins. So you could change a lot of configurations from in here and add origins into it and then add branches as well. I mean, if I were to, I think, let's go to polished crystal. If we go into here, we can go to .config. We are on branch master in there. What branches do you have available in here? There should be some that have more to it than that. Well, you get the idea. So, would it be somewhere in here maybe? Q2 RTX. Yeah, it's not going to show it in here, but you can see that there's a lot of cool stuff in here in the config. We can go through everything else in the .git folder as well. And yeah, you've got access to a lot of different things. Is it? So we could even go pick on Pokemon Prism. They don't have a .git folder in there for some reason. Let's go back up to, or back down to polished. So if we look at the branches, that's empty, the hooks, and you can even change a lot of cool scripts in the .git folder. But yeah, you've got info to all kinds of things, like things that you're excluding, different logs of what's going on, like it is a patchwork of all kinds of different things. So you could sit here and go through different stuff if you really wanted to, different changes and so on. You could you can pretty well get a full source history of what's going on in here, along with a host of other things. just from that. And people are not denying, like, removing that from being accessible on their servers, and that's what Pearson's problem was. So it's kind of a big problem that could have easily been prevented. And now who knows what's actually been exposed, because Pearson wasn't very transparent about what was exfiltrated from their servers. And yeah, I think I used them years ago for MS certification. I don't think I ever logged in. Education Giant, I guess they got educated on security. Yeah, that's true. If you liked the content, if you enjoyed it, if you think I deserve it, like, comment, subscribe, leave any criticisms you have or what have you. I appreciate it. Feed that algorithm, like I said, and I will see you guys in the next one.